All right, hello, this is Robert from CCSA, and I'm just going to create a short video to introduce one of the best methods of pre-application student contact. This way, it helps us to capture some student information, but it also helps us to get some really valuable information into their hands as soon as possible. It's really important that we get this information to the students so that they can start thinking about their study abroad opportunities. So I'll just go ahead and start showing you this document that I will also attach to this message. But we basically call this the pre-application student contact. And this procedure is basically just that we would like for you to send a student an email, kind of similar to this sample message that we have here. And you can copy and paste this message from this form. It'll be attached to the message, and then you can just slightly modify it however you would like. But basically what this one says, you can see it's to the student email address, and it copies me, which is very important, and that's finance@ccsa.cc, and it just says something similar to, "Dear student, thank you for expressing interest in my study abroad course with CCSA. I've copied CCSA's financial manager, Robert Bedard, in this message so that he can provide useful information on scholarships and tips on financing study abroad. And, please feel free to contact me, etc., etc." You can definitely add to this message, and it's also good to save it as a template. That way, it's easy to send multiple messages. You can CC people on these messages. You can send it to multiple people. It doesn't have to be just to one person at a time. Of course, it is nice to customize your message to individual students. Maybe there's something that stood out during your conversation, and you could point that out to them. One of the important things about the fact that you've copied me on this initial message to your student is that now I can reply to that student, also copying you, and I can attach my financing study abroad tips document to this. That document has a lot of good information in it, and it's very useful for students. And like we mentioned in orientation, it's better to get that document into their hands as soon as possible versus waiting right up until the last minute. And so it's just a really good way of letting students know what resources are available to them. But then also, I'm going to let them know about things such as the scholarships that we have available. I'm going to let them know that I'm available for questions. I'm going to give them a link to your course page, just like this example for Professor Sanders. You can see all they have to do is click on this link, and it's going to go straight to the course page, which will also prompt them to start an application. And that's one of our main goals, is to push them into the application system, and so that's what this process helps to do. Also, whenever I send messages, I have a link to a video that is about financial tips and other information regarding CCSA, and so they can watch that video as well for even more information. After I send my message, another thing that I do is I add that student's contact information to a contact list, and you can see a sample list here. You can see that the last name, first name, student email is listed. I also list the faculty name who sent that message, and then I create a status in terms of is the student still interested? Have they created an application? Are there other items needed, etc.? And so you can see a sample of the comments listed over here. And so you'll find that by copying me on your message to the student, my ability to respond, give them some information, and then generate this list that I can then send to you periodically will be very helpful in terms of your following up process. But it also helps you to leverage your time, because then we can assist you and help to follow up with those students on your behalf as well. And a lot of times we are very familiar with the types of questions that they'll ask. We already have those answers prepared, and so it's very easy for us to respond to them. And of course, this list is also very good because our executive director, Jerry Barnaby, will be following up with you, and he can use this list as a coaching tool, and you can look at each one of these students and you can say, okay, well, what was this student interested in? What did we offer them? And what are their barriers? If there are any barriers, how can we add more people to this list and things like that. And so, this has been just a very short video, and the attached document has a lot more information in it, of course. But I think it's a pretty simple process. It's very easy to follow, it's quick, and we found that it's very effective. And so if you're willing to commit to the process, hopefully you can get enough students for your course to go, and we're certainly here to help you do that. So thank you very much.